Good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. I want to share with you today what I call team building skills. Team building skills. Don't distress. People will leave. Don't distress. People will leave. The other day I was discussing something with my friend. He likes business. He's an entrepreneur. He has a lot of companies. And, you know, when we meet, we tend to discuss the things that we want to see if they are not unique with us, especially the distress points, the things that are very difficult to deal with. And it came up, we were discussing the people who happen to be part of the team that we work with. And one of the most difficult places that when you're building anything that you will deal with will be the people. Will be the people. Now, if you just started, that possibly may not be part of your vision, where you just believe that the people that you started with will be constantly there for you, will cover you, will be happy when there is progress, and will stay with you through the thin lines when things are not working. Now, if you think like that, you are just beginning. You have not been baptized yet. You have not been baptized yet, because the thing that you probably would have to be comfortable or grow to accept and understand is that people are are their own authority. They own their lives. You don't own anybody's life. And so if an employee is with you, you just happen to enjoy the moment. People will leave, and some of them you would have to let them go yourself, because probably they have outgrown the company, or they don't want to grow themselves, or they don't have the character to deal with you. Some of them may have their own ambitions. Some of them will be toxic to the kind of environment that you're building, the kind of business you're building. Some of them will just be people who become angry out of no fault of yours. And so the people, without people, you can't build anything. Without people, you can't do much if you are building a company. And the same people can also destroy a lot of things that you built. And 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 if you love people, if you like people, if you're a good person, anytime that somebody else leaves, anytime that you have to let somebody go, it, it kind of even if they are doing bad and you have to let them go, it's at that point you are not just by yourself. You try to look for answers and solutions, and and you ask questions why you didn't see that, or why didn't let them go at the point that you should have let them go, or why are they leaving, is there something wrong with you, and things like that. But if you're going to grow your ability to build teams, your ability to lead people, your ability to get people around a vision, you may have to just have an appreciation for this. You don't have to be so much distressed. You don't have to be so much worried, even though you would love for people to be around, but people have their life that they have to live. So people will leave, and you shouldn't be that much worried about that. So getting the right people to work with is so important. Getting the right people to work with is so much important. And as you build, you don't just get the right people. You would have to build the culture to develop the right people, and to maintain and to sustain the right people. But no matter what you do, sometimes people will just have to leave. And some of them may have been with you for 2 years, 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, and a time will come that, based on their aspirations, based on the level of the business, based on your own development, people will just have to go. So in our culture, I think that most people are not trained to be committed to building a vision. Most people, uh, no matter where they, no matter how you treat them, uh, the conversation is that they are always looking for a better place to go. I think that a lot of people, you know, don't really know what it takes to pick an idea and to develop it and to employ people to work with. And so when you are the leader, when you are the one building something and you get some people around you, I dare say that maybe just one or two out of 100 will have the right kind of mindset to appreciate the fact that you pick an idea, you're able to build it to the point where it's working, and you employ them to be part of the growing of the business. Very few people would have that kind of in-depth appreciation. Why? Because if the business is not that huge, and maybe you have 20 workers, 10 workers, 2 or 5, where they get around you, they see all your humanity, they see your mistakes, they see your challenges, they see your successes, and they tend to think that they can do it, or they should be in the position that you are. And so what you're doing is not much of a big difference, and so they would want to be the ones responsible for the leadership and things like that. So when you look at it well, in our culture, most people don't stay with people to build something to become huge and successful. Usually they stay there, and they are looking somewhere to get another so-called opportunity, another chance to become something. It is not there for people to just really come around a vision and be fully committed, and to think that we are here and we want to work this thing to make it successful. I wouldn't blame them that much, because a lot of the times too, they have also been exposed to kind of leadership style that is hooked on control, controlling the choices of the people they work with, and who normally also feel threatened by their subordinates becoming successful or becoming huge. And so for me, you don't need to demand loyalty. You don't need to demand loyalty from people. I think that you should let people grow to become as independent and as strong as they are, even if they are part of your team. The best you can do is to make the provision for people to develop, to be strong, okay, to be confident. And if out of that they become loyal to the vision, they become loyal to the company, so be it. But you don't have to build a culture where you demand so much loyalty from people. You want, to the extent that you want to control them by the kind of money you pay them, or by the kind of other things that you think that if you give them, they will be out of your control and they will move on. I think that you should let, just as you want to enjoy autonomy, just as you want to enjoy freedom, just as you want to express your life the way you want it, I think that you should let the people who work with you have the same kind of choices. You should let them think that if they want to be here, then they should be here. You don't have to do anything to control them. You don't. Some people even believe that if you pay people well, they will not be committed to the vision, or they will not work well. All kind of things that people put up just to make people depend on them, and to, it's like where like the people who feed dog, they know that the dog likes bones, so they stack them and they give to them bit by bit, because they think that if they build the people to be dependent on them, then they can get them to be around. I don't subscribe to that. I think that must have humans have will. So people should not follow you because they are afraid that they will not get salary, or good salary, or they'll be fired. No, you build people up. Don't demand unnecessary loyalty and unnecessary control from the people you work with. Let them express themselves. If they don't want to be there, they don't have to be there. There will always be somebody who wants a place to go, who wants a place to work. There will always be somebody. always. So there's no point for some people, for you as a leader, or as a company leader, as a company owner, or as an MD, as a managing director, where your style of building a team is to just intentionally structure it so that the people are always under your control and they'll have no choice to live the life that they want to live. I don't think it's a good thing. I think you get the best of people that you develop when they can also say, this is what these are the things that I've chosen to do my life, not because I'm being controlled. So people's aspirations can change along the line. Sometimes they just not the right people for the company at the point that the company is, and sometimes they become less passionate about the growth of the business. They may just want to go. You don't have to stress so much about people going. They just, if they want to go, let them go. Especially those who really want to go and don't want to be there. Those who are there complaining when you're not there, they are talking. You see that they are not fighting beyond that which you give to them to do. They are there, but they are not there. You send them somewhere, and maybe 20% of the time they are doing something for the company. 80% of the time they are focusing on something that is personal. These people become they don't help the company to grow. They don't help the company to grow. And usually, people like that are the ones who are trying to find a way to live almost all the time. And there's always a certain number of your team who always get into that state where they just become unhappy. They don't want to go. Everybody is cheerful of the wins that you're making, but they are looking at that which is not working. They are looking at the pain that they endured. They are looking at, all the things that happen in running a company. And so even if you are making some prospects, when you are making some gains, they still are hooked up to the pain that was then. Such people, if you are confident as a leader, if you want to let them go, I think it's an advantage for the business. So people will leave because some of them don't just value the importance of the leadership that you're providing. And some of them just think that they can do it better than you are. So if they can do it better than you are, then why should they waste their time? They almost always, so when you're a leader of a business, it's not so much even the technicalities that you bring on board. It's not so much even the money that you bring on board. Sometimes the strength that you represent, sometimes that is what is keeping the whole company together. The strength that you present. And you didn't get to that status, you didn't get that strength just yesterday. You have gone through a lot. Now you're a bit more stable. When there is a situation and they kind of talk to you, you know what to say in out of the experiences that you have had, out of the wisdom that you have gathered. And that most of your workers will take for granted. They will take for granted. So they think that they will be better somewhere. And build your emotions to withhold those, to withstand those. You don't have to get attached so much to people so that it becomes almost suicidal for you if they have to leave. No, because they're people, they're human beings. They can leave, and they don't have to. Yes, you want good people to stay around, but if people can use their goodness to control you, then you're not the leader. You should develop the business to extent that, yes, you need good people to be there, and if they are there, it will be fantastic and they are productive. But if they go, your business should still work. Their going should not disturb anything. If anything, disturbs it for a day or two. The rest, things must come back and things must grow. And so, if you're a leader, you cannot just stay intoxicated to one person and build everything around one or two people. Said that if they leave, you just have to go and restart everything. That is not good for you. That's because you may have spent some time. Let's say you have been in the business for 5 years, 10 years, and you put one person around a particular position. You didn't let anybody train under them, and they have become so much good that if they go, nothing else, nothing else will move. You virtually have to beg them to be around. I don't think it's healthy for your business. You have to let people not become autonomous and become authority at one thing. You just have to let another person steady them. You have to let another person cover them. There should always be a backup. always, so that when somebody threatens to go, or something happens to somebody, or you have to let somebody go, your business will not be affected, because people as they are, if they so see that without them everything goes down, even when with them, even when in their absence things go on, they still want to tell you that without them nothing will be done. Have you ever met employees who, especially who work for first generation businesses that the owner employed them, and when they have moved on and they meet outside, you see how they talk about that company, and how they thought that if they by the time that they left the company nothing was working, because people, out of their natural way of looking at issues, especially here, they think that it's always amazing when people leave a company and they become antagonistic, they become enemies. They don't look back, and when they meet outside they want to say something negative about the company that they left, or they pick some fight with some manager or some boss somewhere almost all the time. Very few people that I've met who left some kind of company, some job, that will still continue to talk back, talk good about the place that they left, and how they were built by that place, how they think that it was a good training ground for them, and how they are grateful, and how they can easily, if they have to go back to help something, they will go. Very few people, very few people I've met in this kind of culture who exhibit that. Almost all the time, they seem to be, they seem to have some kind of pain. They seem to be angry at something. They seem to be talking badly about the place that they left. So people will leave, and they're always ganging to leave. The multinationals, they leave. In big companies, you see them, they're always leaving. The banks, you oh, no, I've left, I've gone to that. But people are always leaving because they think that there is always something bad, something better somewhere. Now, listen, you're not the creator of that person. You are not responsible for every human being's life. And so when you accept your humanity, that you can only be responsible for yourself, and that people have to be responsible for themselves and the decisions that they make, then you don't have to control anybody's life. And so if they leave, it's just one of those realities of life that people will leave. And if they leave, fantastic. If they stay with you, praise the Lord. You don't get destroyed or distracted or pain because somebody else you so much hope will be with you for a while. Just they didn't even give you notice and they moved on. It doesn't matter. Enjoy the moment that they are with you. Get the best of the resource. Become very productive the moment they are with you. People are with you. That's the moment that you enjoy. It's like life. Today your son is with you. Today your wife is with you. Today your mother is with you. That is the best of time that you have with them. So enjoy that moment. Enjoy the time that people are with you. You never know what happens tomorrow. So your grandmother is there with you, smiling, talking on phone, come and eat, you visit and things, and the next moment they tell you that she's gone. So the moment that they are with you, that's the moment that you get to enjoy. They are human beings. So if it's always memory, fun, but never be hooked up to an employee. Never, even not partners. A partner can decide to move on. It may be painful. It could be a threat to the survival of the business, but you just have to reorganize. You just have to reorganize. And so make sure that those who are not, committed, don't destroy the rest of the team. Make sure that those who are not committed don't destroy the rest of the team. Because usually there is always somebody in a team who is not focused on the present, who is not committed to getting results for the company, who is always selfish and looking at their interests. There is always somebody like that in your business. There is always somebody like that in your business who is always looking for only their self-interest. Now, if you are going to spend your life worrying, and getting distressed about some of these decisions, you will never focus on the future of the business. You will never focus on what you have to do to build the company, to grow it, because you're so worried about who is going to leave the next. Depending on the kind of the industry you are in, people will leave. So let's say you have a cleaning company. The rate at which that they will go, it will be higher than another kind of company. If you have a construction company, people will leave. Your engineer may leave, your mason may leave, your carpenter may leave. They can leave. It's their choice. That's their life. And so retail sales assistants, they just leave. They will not even tell you. And some of the managers will just leave just like that. So don't just have a plan to handle that, and because that's the way the business is. That's where it is. Every business and the kind of turnover that you have. So just have to do what you have to do to make sure that people stay for a while. But if they don't want to stay, don't distress so much. Don't distress so much, because I've seen that it eats people. Sometimes you meet business people or entrepreneurs who are trying to do something, and you see the kind of still the pain that they express for people who they think they helped. What you don't know is that in the mind of the employee, they don't think that you helped them. They think that they worked and you paid them. Sometimes they don't even know what you had to compromise to pick them. A lot of them are very much, naive of what you had to compromise to pick them, especially at the beginning. When they are leaving, they will praise themselves so much of what they have done for the business to become, even if they were not that much effective. And so don't stress for people leaving. Build the people, build the culture, build the business so that the good ones will stay. What you don't want is for the good ones to be leaving at a pace that you don't want them to be leaving. But the ones who are not good, if they leave, it doesn't matter. Really doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But as human as we are, sometimes we just unnecessarily worry about even the very ineffective ones who leave. So make sure those who are not committed don't destroy those who are very much committed. And sometimes you just need to talk to some people who are very good, who may be double-minded because of the conversation, because of whoever is talking to them, depending on how much you need them and how much you think good they are in terms of character, in terms of skill. Some people, it's not that they are bad. Sometimes somebody will just be talking to them, whether at home, whether at the workplace, and they may not be that much strong about even their decision to leave, but they are just, unsure of their own choices and their own dilemma. So as a leader, you should also be picking signals, looking at your team, look at their composure, look at the way they talk, look at the things that they talk about, hear them, ask them personal questions, ask them if they are happy at the place, especially those that you think are good. But the fact that you want to keep those who you think are good does not mean that they should use their goodness to control you. That becomes a bad situation. So don't let anybody use the fact that they are very useful to control you or to determine the pace of the activities of the business. No, don't never let anybody use that. But sometimes you may have to just talk to people you so need to be around to reconsider the decision if they want to leave. So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about team building skill. Don't distress so much, people will leave. You need people to work with. You need the ability to work with people, and you cannot succeed alone. You need the best of people to work with, and it's one of the main skills that very few people are able to develop. That's why those who are able to build multiple businesses and expand their businesses are able to build that kind of skill, where they're able to work with a lot of people. They're able to work with the best of talent. That skill does not just come, it is developed, and it's developed because you probably have some kind of knack, some gift to identify good talent. You see people who are good, even if you see people who are good-hearted, who are good, who you can train, you're able to identify them. In that case, you may have the heart for people. You love people. You want the best for people. You want the best to join your team. And the same decision, the same disposition that helps you to pick those people and identify. You have heart to be kind and to to supposedly think that you want the best for people. And so, but that tendency also makes you vulnerable to be emotional about the kind of people who come to work with you and who tend to sometimes disappoint you, and sometimes they steal from you, they lie to you, sometimes they take your friendliness for granted, sometimes they lie or they take for granted the things that you're doing. Because of that tendency, you become, and it's a strength and it can also become a weakness. And because of that, sometimes even if you have to let somebody go, your humanity just let you to hang in there. And then the time that you least expected that day, you compromise and you put up with their inefficiencies, and they will come to tell you that, listen, you have wasted my time here, and I want to leave. And some of them will not even tell you. Some of them will get angry and leave. Some of them will never talk to you again. Some of them will even go and say all kind of things, you know, and they don't even know the things that you are dealing with. They don't know. Now, those things should not discourage you. Those things should not bother you so much. You should not become depressed because of that. Because there will always be people looking for opportunities. There will always be people looking for a place to work. If you're good and you continue to develop yourself, you will get the best. The best is always not those who left. I don't have that kind of philosophy. I have the philosophy that the best is are the people who you are going to recruit for the next stage. Why? Because you would have grown up. I have that conviction. I don't know whether it's right or not, but I think that if people work with me and they were that good and they left, okay, I think that the next group of people will come. Because I would have become better, I will be able to pick the ones who are better. And so that's why the company continues to grow, because those who are coming in are better than those who left. That is my conviction. And so if they leave, yes, at that point of them leaving, it may be painful. It may not, you may feel disappointed. You may feel like, oh, I spent a lot of time, I took a lot of pain, a lot of, bad decisions. No, but I enjoy a lot of things just because I wanted these guys to be here. And when they were there, they were not even committed to the vision. They were waiting for their salary. So if it is like that, you probably, I know people who, because they love people, they are kind to people. When people live like that, it takes a while for them to get over them. Yes, it's okay. Maybe take a while, but you better get used to them, because people will leave. People will leave the company. People will move on. It doesn't matter, because what matters is that the one who started the business, and your ability to continue to bring people on board. So there are, at every stage there are players, and it keeps changing. Ghana Black Stars, those who play Ghana Black Stars in 1980, I know those who are playing Ghana Black Stars in 1995 were not those same people who play Ghana Black Stars even in 2018. But it's the same Ghana Black Star. And so the players will keep changing as the time move. Okay, there's no team that you can stay stagnant for 20 years. People will leave. People will come and join. That's the dynamics of team building. And so you have to build your emotions. And that is not that much comfortable for a lot of people. A lot of people are not very much comfortable with people leaving, and some of them will fight with them, curse them, never wish them well. No, it's life. It's life. If you have an organization, like most churches, people come to join, and when they want to leave, they tell them that they are not good people and things like that. No, if they want to leave, they have their choice to leave. They have the power to leave. If they thank you, maybe good. If they don't thank you, no problem. No problem. And never become bitter or become angry because you think like you poured so much into them and they left you. It doesn't matter. Because when you're teaching people, you're also teaching yourself. You are helping people, you're also helping yourself. When you're building others, you're also building yourself. So it's not only, they are not the only ones who benefited. You also benefited. You became a better person because of their presence, even if those who were bad. Because you happen to have seen the areas that you're not good at. So don't become so much sad with people leaving you. No, because I believe, strongly believe, 90% of the time. Those who leave and those who come in, I'm always waiting for the best ones to come in. So they can leave and also go and try something on their own. Okay, and build people up. The fact that people will leave does not mean don't build them up. Anytime they are with you, even if 2 days they are with you, build them, give them the best of skills, give them the best of knowledge, give them the best of information, because they are with you, even if it's 1 hour. Don't hide the information that will make them better because you think that they will leave. No. Somebody didn't do that to you. That's why you became better. And so don't do that to another person. Build them. If you went through the process and you employed them, or somebody brought them to you, especially those that people brought to you that you really were not prepared for them, they are the ones who will be much ungrateful and who will probably cause a lot of disruption in the culture that you have built. But even them, still give the best of training. They may not thank you, but other ones will thank you. They may not be grateful, but you would have become better. So sometimes people just have to leave. Sometimes you just have to also let some people go because they have become, not of any much importance to the culture, to the business, and to the stage of the business that you are. So here, very few people would. A lot of people think that they also have to, if they came to meet you and they saw you how you struggle to build a business, and they saw the beginning, a lot of them they think that they can do the same thing, which is a good inspiration. But if they are looking at it from the fact that they think that, oh, you also don't know much, but you have been able to do this and they also can do it, that I think means that they don't value the kind of things that you have gone through to do or to build the business. That tendency, when they go out, they will go through a lot of challenges with that. Okay, but if they see the kind of things that you have done and what you have endured and the kind of person you have been, and they get inspiration from that, then even if they leave, they would have proper understanding if they happen to even have start something on their own. Okay, so don't control people. Don't get hooked up to controlling people because you think that if you treat them well, you treat them nicely, you develop them, they will leave. Treat people nicely. Treat people well, even if they don't thank you, because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the system. You're doing it for yourself. You're becoming a better leader. So don't need to. I don't demand loyalty. I said it before. No need. Don't force people to swear allegiance to you. You're not God. You're just a man like them. So the best you can do is to develop them to be strong, to be confident in their choices, and out of their development, out of their strength, if they are loyal to the vision, to the business, to you, then that's a better choice. That's a better choice. And so don't control people, and don't let people live in fear, threatening to fire them and let them go and things like that. No, let people grow to become strong. It's better to have strong men around you who are rich than people around you who are poor and they are only loyal to you because they look up to you to feed themselves and to feed their family. That's a weak strategy. That's not strong strategy. Let them leave. The strong ones will stay if you build them. And you can do a lot with the strong ones than having 1,001 of sycophants around you. 1,001, thousands of sycophants who cannot even speak their mind because they're afraid to challenge you. They're afraid to put up their points across. They're afraid to share with you some kind of inspiration that they had, which can help the organization to grow, because you may have tortured and destroyed their soul with your controlling tendency. So you built people with aspirations, and if their goals change and they want to leave, let them leave. Never control people. Let those who are passionate about the business stay. And if they are strong, those are the ones that you need. Not the ones who are going around murmuring and complaining and talking badly about you, about the business and how they are suffering. Those ones, and usually those ones are the ones who are always planning to leave anyway. They are never happy with whatever you do. They are never happy. And the reason may never be you at all. It's just the way they've been brought up, just the way they've been trained. And it's difficult for such people to change in the shortest time. So people will leave. Let them leave, especially those who don't value the kind of leadership that you provide, and the kind of importance that you bring to the organization. And if your team is made up of a lot of people like that, let's say you are 10, and if 7 of the people are like that, they never committed to the vision, they are looking somewhere all the time, they seem to always be looking for another opportunity, another job opportunity somewhere, they've never been committed to anything. Those kind of people, if they are in the majority, you will struggle as a business person, you will struggle as the organization, as the leader of the organization that you are, you struggle. And so you would want people who resolve. So sometimes I tell our team, if you want to be here, then be here. If you don't want to be here, nobody is forcing you to be here. We have not put chain on your hand, and we have not put chain on your neck. But if you are a human being and you have chosen to be here, then be here. For the time that you are going to be here, give your best. Be present. Be committed to the results. Help the organization to grow. You cannot be here and be interested in only the salary and be absent-minded. I would help you to move on so that those who want to be here will be here. So as a leader, don't ever build your emotions around just the expertise of one person that you're so much dependent on, so that they start to use their influence to control you. It's dangerous. You have to break that so that you don't get addicted to it. How about if something happens to them tomorrow? Then what happens to the business? No, you build backup all the time. It's good to have good people, but the good people cannot use the fact that they are very good at some of the activities of the business, and therefore they want to control you with that. No, never get emotionally attached to those. Build the structures and the systems so that another person can easily be trained to take over the position, to take over the assignment. Don't get hooked to them. And you're not God. You're not the creator of any human being. So people have their choices. They went to school. You didn't pay their school fees. So if they come and they are not committed and you want to let them go, let them go. If they want to go, let them go. Because we've been brought up to be emotional and to be humane and to be affectionate, we bond easily with people. We become so much attached to people. And the thing about employees is that they bond easily. And the culture that we have, we are very much social. And they bond not for the productivity of the business, but they bond for their interests. They bond to cover their interests. Those who are not working, those are the ones looking for welfare of the other workers. And yet the things that they have to do to bring in the revenue for the business, their mind is not there. That's the kind of culture we have built. So people are not productivity driven, responsibility driven. They are self-interest driven, and they are majority. So I think that enjoy the moment that they spend with you. If they are with you for 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, enjoy that moment. Tomorrow, if they are gone, they pay their dues. Fantastic. And other people will come. So don't get bitter and destructive because you think that you help them. They have their life. They have the willpower to make decisions, to move to where they want to go. So focus on getting results while those teams are present. Every day, the team is different from the next day. Okay, those you have here, another person can easily tomorrow not come. So each team is as unique as each day. All right, so let each team get the best of results for the day. Mercies are new every morning. It's in the scriptures, So the team is today. So we focus on what we are getting out of the team today. Tomorrow, another person moves, another person will come. So that's how it is. It's like the trotro driver. When he's moving from Accra to Kaneshi, people jump and people, leave. People jump and go and jump and go. But he's going. And that's how the kind of mentality that you have to have. So that you're not controlled and hurt just because some people left you without even prior notice. Okay, so make sure that those who are committed are not destroyed by those who are not committed. So always look for the tendencies, look for how they talk, look at their body language, hear the conversations, and always trim the team. Make sure the team is getting to where you want the results, because without the team, the results will be difficult. And sometimes you need to talk to the very good ones who may have been influenced wrongly to stay, because they may not have really thought of leaving, But a bad something, just enjoy the joy in the business, and the next minute all your good ones have, start to become sloppy and lazy. It's not a good thing. So thank you very much for watching. So build the team skills is very important, and never be distressed. Don't destroy the stress. Don't destroy yourself because people are leaving. Let them leave if they have to leave. The very good ones, they don't just leave. The very, very good ones, when they join, they have focus on results. They're passionate to be part of a team to win. Not so good ones, the other ones complaining and talking and always looking for salary increment and ganging up and fighting every decision that you're making. You have to be in control as a business leader. You have to be in control. It's emotional, it's human beings, but sometimes you just have to set the laws rightly, and you have to set your principles rightly. And that's where it's tough to manage people, because people are different, they're complex, they're unique, they're emotional, all kind of things. Even those who are stealing, when you catch them, they tell you that they have never stolen. Those who are not performing, when you question them, they tell you they give you all kind of excuses. But if you want to get to where you want to get to, there are things that you must do rightly. And you have to find out those things that you have to do rightly. And a lot of them have got to do with the people. Okay. But don't forget that they have the power to choose their lives. You didn't create them. You just happen to have a business, and you have a vision for the business. And those who are ready to get on board, those are the ones that you build to get on board. Those who don't want to be on board would have to find another place. Okay. And it's easier said than done. Very easier said than done, because it's not easy for you to call somebody to say that I don't think you can work here. It's tough. But sometimes you just have to do it. Because when they have the opportunity, they will jump without even telling you. They will never act like you ever did anything effort to them. So thank you very much. Don't distress. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Obedako. Thank you.